Ready, Ms. Martin? Well, welcome. We got a good crowd tonight. Welcome. I'd like to call to order the August 15th, 2017 meeting. We're at 6:02. This time I need approval of the agenda. Before the approval comes, we've got one special guest that Matt asked we add on the visitors, which will be right at the end of Mr. Hubbard. It's all right with the board. Matt has a special guest here tonight. That said, if there's any other changes or omissions, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
We got a motion, we got a second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
I have it. Tonight, our invocation and pledges, Reverend Joe Ridley, pastor of Church of the Body of Christ.
Let us pray. Father, in the name of Jesus, we put your throne of grace, thanking you for mercy and grace to help in the time of need, and we always standing in need of your help. You said in your holy writ that without you, we can do nothing. Without you, we are all the failures. Father, we need to seek your face, get your directive so that we can do the right thing. We thank you, Father, you have made a one blood every nation that good on the face of the earth, and we just pray, oh God, for the kind of commissioners here, oh God, government on every level, federal, state, city, and county. We pray that you bless us all to be the blessing and the people that you desire us to be. Bless this meeting tonight, Father. Do what you need to do in every life and every heart, hallelujah. To change us from selfishness and bitterness, oh God, to love, peace, joy, patience, and kindness. In the name of Jesus, we need your help. Without you, Father, hallelujah, we will not operate like we need to and do what we need to do. So bless these meetings tonight. Bless, oh God, these kind of commissioners. Help us, Father, to understand your will and to walk in your ways and to do what you desire to be done. Bless, oh God, hallelujah, the chairman. Bless all the other commissioners in every area that they represent and the people that's there. In the name of Jesus, we thank you right now. Then you take every one of us tonight because we need your help. Hide us behind the cross. Cover us in your blood. Keep us in the center of your will. Bless President Trump, oh God, and all his cohorts and all the cabinet, Father, and every congressman, senator in his cabinet, oh God, in their places tonight. Bless them to be, oh God, the people that you desire. In the name of Jesus. Thank you right now. Hide us behind the cross, cover us in your blood. Keep us in the center of your will. And whatever you do for us, we're going to be kept up. Give you the glory, the praise, and honor. In Jesus' name. Give heart say amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Tonight we start off with board appointments. An appointment to the Historical Preservation Board for a new 3-year term, beginning September 1st, 2017, and ending August 31st, 2020. You look back, we only had, this was advertised, and we've only had one person that that put in for the, like to be, I think Jason's there currently. Jason McSwain?
Yes.
Jason McSwain would like to serve another term, and he was the only one that responded to the newspaper article. So if we have any motions to accept Jason on the for another 3-year term? So moved. We have a motion. We have a second?
Second.
No conversation. All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
Ayes have it. Tonight we have some visitors. Ron Howells, Evergreen Plantation Soundberry. Would you like to come forward? Oh, I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself. I'm sorry. I just skipped. Did it again. I'm getting good at this, ain't I?
Nobody noticed you.
Nobody knows. I caught my own self, but I had to get caught. All right. We got consent agenda approval for the minutes. So we got a work session August 1st, 2017 at 3 p.m. We got the first Tuesday, August 1st, 2017.
So moved.
We got a motion. We got a second?
Second.
No discussion. All in favor? Aye. I have it. Now we can go forward. At least I caught my own self this time. It didn't have to be corrected. Welcome.
Thank you for the time that you allotted to be able to present this. I'm Ronald Howes. I'm representing the Evergreen Plantation subdivision. We're presenting to you a petition that we have, some of the members of our association, our community, have signed expressing our need to have you be our advocate to have Georgia DOT erect a sound barrier between the bypass and our subdivision. We used to have a peaceful and quiet neighborhood before the bypass was constructed. Since its completion, we've been assaulted with the noise of large trucks stopping and starting, motorcycles and motor vehicles doing the same thing, creating sounds along more than what we've heard from Highway 22. The most irritating sounds come from the rumble strips, which we find punctuate the day and night with buzzing sounds that kind of jerk our attention from our normal lives. I appreciate the bypass and as a way of avoiding going through Gray on those busy times of the day when traffic can be backed up as much as 3 traffic lights. But these sounds can be reduced below the annoying range we experience now at the tolerable level with a sound barrier in place. And I'd like to present this. I assume in presenting this that y'all will go to DOT or representative or whoever to try and see if we can get this done.
We'll be glad to pass it on to them. You know, like as you do know, and you made it clear that it was a state project. So, but we can pass it on. I guess we can pass it on, no problem.
Okay.
On behalf of Evergreen, be glad to.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Moving on, Tina and John Hubbard, Chapel Hill Circle Standing Water. Are they here tonight? They're obviously not here tonight. Matt, you have a special guest for us tonight?
I do. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Tonight I have a special guest that reached out to Parks and Recreation. Her name is Sage Stewart. I'd like to bring her up front, please. And I'd like to welcome back Jaden. Sage is the daughter of Chris and Stephanie Stewart. She's 8 years old. She's in the 3rd grade at Dames Ferry Elementary. She's part of a group called Dragons in Action. It's a small group of kids that go out in the community and do good things. Sage has put together her own little business called Sage's Angel Savings. I say that right? All right, good. So she earns money and saves money by selling what she calls sassy slime, baked goods, and sewing. She also has set a booth up this past year at the Cherry Blossom and also sold some things there. She's here this evening with her grandmother and I think some other family members in the back and her sister to make a donation to our Special Needs Inclusive Playground. This is money that she has raised herself. This is something that she brought upon herself with her own convictions. And she's here tonight to make a donation to Jaden towards our Special Needs Playground.
Wow, that's great.
It's $100.
Wow, that is great. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That was great.
And so I'm going to give this to our county administrator and he'll turn it over to finances tomorrow.
Thank you. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Miss. Thank you, Sage.
Thank you, Sage.
Good job.
But that's great. That's real good. All right, moving on to new business. Matt, I think you're up again with the award bid for golf carts.
Yes, sir, I am. We went out for bid for new golf carts since our contract was running out this year. There's 3 major companies that generally do this type of bid. Only 2 responded, Yamaha Golf and E-Z-Go. The bids came in, I think y'all had that bid tabulation sheet with you. As you see the prices there, Yamaha on a utility cart was $128.50. $63.60 on electric cart, $53.50 on a gas cart. Easy Go was $109.34 on utility cart, $46.47 on electric, and $36.87 on gas cart. After some research and talking with other golf courses and talking with our people at the golf course, I'll make a recommendation tonight that we go with Easy Go with a gas cart at $36.87 per cart. This comes out to with the 2 utility carts and the 50 golf carts, the same thing we've been getting for the last 5 or 6 contracts we've been doing with our carts. It comes out to around $170,000, $196,064. Our contract that we're previously in is $215,700. So we're saving roughly around $45,000 this time around on our golf carts versus the last contract we got.
For the term of the lease?
For the term of the lease, yes, sir.
Okay. How about, I'm just curiosity, gas-wise, I don't think you drink a whole lot.
No, sir. These gas carts roughly get about 10 rounds per tank. When you look at the fact that they are being charged roughly 20 out of 24 hours a day, the offset between the gas and the electric, there's really no wash there. There's a little bit less maintenance. That's one reason we're going with gas versus electric. It's a little bit less maintenance involved, and that's what we're recommending gas this time.
Any more questions for, what was this year's prices?
The math comes out to be $170,966.
I'm talking about, what are we paying now?
Oh, we're paying $215,718.
How long is the term of the lease?
48 months, same as our previous one.
Any more questions for Matt?
Any more? What is our warranty?
Yeah, I took that one from me. Okay.
Our warranty, which is in the contract, that trying to find this thing. It's your standard golf cart warranty, where they warranty all manufacturer defects. They warranty the chassis, the drivetrain, and any non-abusive repairs. If they find abusive repairs, then we're responsible for the upkeep. If the motor has problems, and but we can show what we've done our regular maintenance, then it falls under warranty. And this warranty is for the length of the contract.
What about batteries?
It only has 1 battery this time around versus 6.
Is it included in the warranty like the others weren't?
Yes, sir. And this is not the contract we have here. This is just the prices. Mr. Jason will be, when we call Easy Go, let them know they have won the bid. At that point, Mr. Jason and I will actually get the contract with the actual laid out details of the warranty, and so it will be spelled out verbatim before we sign the contract with Easy Go.
Okay, I got a quick question. These 2-stroke or 4-stroke, meaning you have to mix the oil?
No, this is 4-stroke motors.
Okay, so it's just a matter of checking oil.
Yes, sir.
Great, that's one less thing we gotta.
And the oil only has to be changed twice a year.
Really?
Yes, sir.
But checked regularly?
Yes, sir.
All right, any other question? If none, we need a motion to accept his recommendation on the golf cart.
Which is Easy Go at $36.87 per cart.
Make a motion, we go with Easy Go Division for $36.87 per car per month.
And the 2 utility vehicles, which are $109.34.
What are the utility vehicles? What are they for? Yeah.
That's what we use to do maintenance around the course. We carry our weed eaters and blowers and different things with.
All right. Oh, I do have another question.
Go for it.
What are all the golf carts that we're swapping out from electric to gas? Are we going to turn all of them back in? Are we getting anything for return on them? And the utility carts, are we going to have 4 carts now? Or
so what we get is, to answer that question is, what we get is We spent about $1,100 to get 20 carts delivered for rental carts or lease carts to carry us through the summer, because we had all the battery issues in the winter. We get that money back. So that's $1,100 we get back that we gave E-Z-GO to bring the carts. We also get to keep the 2 Cushmans we got. I know you're going to say, well, that gives us 4. What we're going to do with those 2 we have at the golf course is we need them at Parks and Rec to go with the new park. That will stop us from having to buy utility vehicles for the 18 expansion, because we don't have any currently with that park, which opens up Saturday. And I think that is they do take our cars back. And one reason it's cheaper this year than previous is that at the end of our lease that we currently have, they valued our carts at the beginning of the lease to be worth $1,000. There was a $50,000 payoff if we wanted to buy all 50 carts, which we're not buying them. The value of those carts were higher than $1,000. That's one reason why the lease is less. They are taking all the carts back.
Okay. We have a motion. No more questions? We need a second. Do we have we got a second? Any additional discussion or questions for Matt?
Just, you know where I stand. I have a problem with the way we spend those dollars on golf carts over the past 8 years. You're talking almost $400,000. I don't know the exact membership out of the golf course. I'm just a fan of putting those dollars where there's a better use in the course. I got my desire to put it over there at the track or some other facility. So we appreciate the hard work. I just have challenges with the golf course and the golf cart at $179,000.
Any more discussion or questions? If none, all in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? 4-1. Taylor's opposed. Golf course, Matt, back up again.
I come here tonight to ask for 2 floater positions. What these are, we already use them for sanitation at Public Works. At the golf course, we have currently 3 ladies that work as pro shop attendants, and as laws only allow you to work X amount of hours. Well, and they don't have a problem working those maximum hours. The problem I'm running into is these ladies are working every single weekend. There's a lot of right currently the ones I hired. I'm supposed to hire another young lady to fill a spot we got open, but the ladies we currently have are all retired and they don't mind working. They just don't want to work every single weekend. So what I'm asking for tonight is permission to hire 2 floaters. It does not increase our budget. Still using the same bucket of dollars. We're just going to take, instead of these ladies working 28, 29 hours every week, working every Saturday and Sunday, we're going to hire 2 floaters. That will bring them ladies down to around 18, 19 hours a week and allow them other ladies to fill in some weekend spots so they're not working every single weekend, which causes people to leave because I'm retired, I want to work, but I don't want to work every single Saturday and Sunday. That's what we're running into.
So will not cost anything extra to your budget?
No, sir. I don't want to say $0. The only increase, I believe, Ms. Margie, you may help me out with this, is anytime we add someone to the payroll, there's some kind of workers' comp. I mean, I don't know what it is. It may be $5, maybe $100. I don't know what it is. But that would be the only increased fee, is by adding an employee into the workers' comp field. But as far as payroll dollars, there wouldn't be any increase.
We should have our workers' comp based on payroll, so it should be.
So then,
I would imagine based on payroll, so it should change workers' comp.
Then, yeah, the payroll dollars do not change because the hours of labor does not change.
Any more questions for Matt? If none, we have a motion.
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
All right, we have a motion. We have a second.
Second.
All right, any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you, Matt. We're moving on. Number 3, approve third-party operation agreement for transit service with the Middle Georgia Community Action Agency.
We're asking.
No, you're fine. Go.
we're asking that that be postponed to the first meeting in September.
We need to check, it was brought up, we need to check to make sure that this, what they're asking us to approve is the same as what we've got currently on our budget, which we can't, we've looked at it, but we just want to make sure we're apples to apples with last year's budget. That's why Ms. Marty would like to see it tabled until the first meeting.
And is this the same one that's providing the service for the seniors?
I think this is the service where you can call and pick up, and they'll take you to doctor's appointments and.
Okay.
Yeah. Public and non-DHR.
Okay, got it.
Senior.
Guess we'll need a motion to table it to the first meeting, if it's all right with everybody.
Based on it not being a push on the timeline, Chairman, I make a motion we table it to the next meeting.
Well, we have a motion, we have a second.
Second.
There's no discussion, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Thank you very much. Number 4, we got bids for striping for the 2017 LMIG Local Maintenance Improvement Grant Road Projects. Mr. Risner, is that yours?
Mr. Chairman, on this one, we bid this out. This is the striping component of our resurfacing project, and so our internal estimate for this work came back at about $25,000 from our staff estimating what it would cost. We received one bid back on this. The bid amount was $52,000 and some change. My recommendation to you is going to be to reject that bid and rebid.
Yes, sir.
Based on the fact that it was.
How many we send it out to?
I believe there were 3 that we sent it out to. There's a fairly limited pool of companies that do that type of work. But I think we sent it to, there are 2 Mid-Georgia stripings and then Peak Pavement Marking out of Columbus. I think of the 3 that we sent it to. But just got one response from one of the mid-state companies.
I just wonder how much response we've had in the past. Anybody remember?
I don't.
I think it'd be a good idea to reach out to them, and just maybe question why they're not responding. If they're, is it a time frame? They're too busy, or got plenty of work, or just is it history? Is it
Right. I think there's one company that's typically done all the striping work, and but strangely enough, we didn't get a response from that company. So traditionally, I don't know that this has been through a bid process separate from the LMIG, but so that might have played into it as well.
Chairman, I make a motion we reject the single bid, go back out and rebid, and ask the county administrator to reach out to some of the prospective bidders and just kind of give them a heads up, let them know that we're posting it.
We have a motion, we have a second?
Second.
No more discussion, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed?
No. Discussion, yeah. I was just going to add, ask them to reach out to Houston County, expand that pool just a little bit larger in even Bibb County. If we're not getting responses from the semi-local people and the people who've done it in the past, let's expand our pool.
Sure.
Because we know they're paving roads.
Because I'm sure there's more than 3 people out there doing striping as big as the state is.
Right.
So, yeah, I agree. That'd be great. Sorry to rush you on the discussion.
All right.
I do look up, though. All right, good deal. All right. Number 5. Was a party in the resources distribution by district. Mr. Commissioner Martin, this is your.
Right. Mr. Chairman, much like we're looking at parity and salaries across the county in terms of employees, I think it's incumbent upon us to look at how we distribute resources across the county. If there's a need in District 1, 2, 3, or 4, there ought to be relative distribution of resources for those projects to get done. We don't really do it like that. We kind of have this budget and it goes in, and it doesn't necessarily get down to the details of what needs to go in those respective districts. This year we didn't have the privilege of going through those specific projects. We just said, we got to approve a budget. In the future, I'd love us to really look at how we spend our resources, Parks and Rec, Water Department, Public Works, even right down to LMIG, Back in the old days, we were commissioner of roads, and each district got to pave about a mile of roads. And that happened here in this county. We don't necessarily do that anymore. I think it would create an opportunity for us to really get resources into the districts where they need them. It also will create cooperation. If Sam's got a project over in his district that requires a little more resources than I need in my district, we have an opportunity to share and dialogue. Same thing with Jonathan and Tommy as well. And I think that will help us to make sure that all of the needs of the citizens are met. Right now, we just kind of go where we think there's a project. And I don't know that we've really made strong efforts. And don't get me wrong, at the retreat, there were specific projects laid out. But then how do we allocate those dollars? Whose project gets done first? Or whose project does not get done? And I think we ought to look at that. Right down the SPLOSH projects. We don't do those per district. We do it sort of countywide right now, and we relied on an old structure that doesn't necessarily address capital improvement projects or even economic development. For those who were privileged to sit here during the budget process, we were over by a few, then under by a few, and every year that's a challenge. I think the requests were almost 1.9 million above what our actual budget is. Until we have some reinvestment dollars coming back, and whether it's in economic development or some other infrastructure project, every year we'll have some level of shortage. So again, I want us to really consider that. I'm not going to force a motion to say, hey, look, let's motion to do that. I want to put that on the back burner, but make people aware of it. And as Jason looks out next year and we look out next year, let's start looking at how we best allocate those dollars across all the districts.
Any questions from Commissioner Martin? I got a question, Commissioner Robinson. Since you're the senior commissioner here, not that we're calling you old man. No, we're not calling you old man. We're calling you the senior member of this board. When you first started, were they doing each district got a specific amount of paving each to start with, and then they went through? I know back in the Betty Williams days, back in those, they used to start off with each commissioner would get there.
Yeah, there was like a mile per district, but John Lowe, I believe, will tell you that didn't address the needs the way they should have been.
Sure.
There may have been 3 miles of urgent needs in one district and maybe no needs in another. So that wasn't necessarily the right way to do it.
I just know you'd been there and probably had done it that way, just searching for knowledge from you to give some input. Any more questions for Commissioner Martin?
I was just comment. I agree that, I guess when it comes to the quality of life issues, absolutely agree. But when it comes to infrastructure like roads, I'm more of the opinion that we base it off a need. You know, even though we are representing our own district, we also represent the whole county. So, you know, I would be the first to say that if a road in Commissioner Martin's district was the highest need to be paved, and he didn't have money allotted to him and I did, it shouldn't be whether I get along with him, whether I give him the money out of mine to do it. That need is there, and it should be addressed with the first dollars, you know. And then if it happens that 3 roads in his district are the top 3, then those should be the top 3. I think our issue probably in the past has been not basing it on a need, not basing it off of whatever reason. And I think need needs to be the driving force in roads.
And we do have a road expert on staff, and he's the one now that makes the call of which roads need what. And before it was, I guess you could say it was a campaign tool. That's been taken away now.
Sure. All right. Any more discussion on this?
I would say, I hope, especially with roads, we really look at that. We had some roads last year that got chipped and sealed and churned, and we had a bunch of citizens show up because they were not happy that we did a road that they didn't approve. And that's one of the things that, as it comes back towards us making those decisions, we're on the ground with our constituents, and they're giving us feedback. Hey, this road needs some attention. And I'll throw one out there, Luke Smith Road. I've gotten probably 8 or 9 calls on Luke Smith Road because it was a promise some years ago to pave that road. And I don't know where on the road list it fell and what happened, but it would take all of us contributing a significant sum to make sure that that road got done. So I'm just throwing that out there as an example.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Any more discussion? Thank you, Commissioner Martin. We'll move on to old business. We'll award bid for cameras and access door entries at the Government Center. We got Will Harp and Charles Cook. Looks like just Will Harp.
It's a Charles is back there.
Charles, I see Charles hiding back there.
Okay, went out to bid about a month ago for ACCG grant for security and safety. So we got a pretty good response. We got 15 bids in, 11 different companies. There's a lot of information in there, a lot of stuff. If you look at the sheet, we didn't go with the cheapest, we didn't go with the most expensive. We went with a company called ACOM there in Macon, and they were $28,000. And the reason we went with them, decided to go with them, was basically it was a better system than the cheapest bid in the package. They had varifocal lens cameras to where, you know, we can adjust the focus by the computer. We don't have to get on a ladder and turn, you know, lenses, anything like that. They had a little bit better hardware as far as switches, that kind of thing. And that's basically why we decided to go with ACOM.
Just out of curiosity, web-based app connectivity, is that a part of it?
Yes, sir.
All right, fantastic. Hard drive, are we backup storing, writing over after 5 days?
Yes, 30 days.
30 days.
Is that dependent on, do the cameras go to sleep? Are they?
Yes, with, there's different settings. Yeah, we can set them to, you know, just turn on when they spot motion, or we can even what they call analytics, not real deep analytics, not like facial recognition or anything, but like if there's a flag waving in the background, we can go in and crop it out, and so the camera won't, you know, go off with that.
That storage is based on 24 run, 30 days.
Yes. In fact, I believe it's going to be more, because they quoted us a 12 terabyte hard drive. So.
Wow. Okay. That was my next question. What was the storage on? And does it automatically overwrite, or do you have to physically remove a disk and put another one in?
Oh, no, it automatically overwrites. Yep.
Is there a burn the disk option if you had to review, or?
I don't really think you see those anymore. I think, but there are, you know, exporting methods for that. So whether that be a jump drive, and then, you know, get onto a jump drive, and then you know, we can burn it from there if we had to.
Fantastic.
All the cameras stationary, any PTZs?
They're all stationary. I mean, we're not going to be able to control.
Yeah, you can focus, you can't turn them.
Right. Yeah.
What kind of door access? Are we talking about card swipe? Is it?
Yeah, it's going to be a card swipe.
ID, or is it a swipe, or is it a?
Well, I think the quote we got, or the bid we got, we're going to get 50 cards, 50 fobs. So let the people decide what they want. They want to put it on a keychain, put it on a keychain, put it in your wallet, put it in your wallet.
But it's all either a sensor, or, I mean, is that the only access control? Does it have a keypad alternate?
No. You have to have the card or the fob to swipe to get in.
And in the event, there's a lot of questions. In the event of power failure, is it normally closed or normally open? Does it lock down, or does it automatically unlock?
Oh, no, it's 100% egress out of all of them. Now, we do have a mag lock on the back door.
Yeah.
Now, that will get tied into the, you know, the fire alarm and all that kind of stuff. So, of course, you know, that has to be the code where, you know, it'll automatically let go in the case of something like that. But the other doors, you know, the 4 doors here, they're crash bars, so we don't have to plug into, you know, fire alarms, that kind of thing, because there's always 100% egress anyway with those. So.
any compatibility with the Tyler system or our existing time clock?
No, sir, no.
Trying to kill two birds with one stone.
Is it expandable if we decided to take this to the courthouse or another building or something? Could Jason's fob be programmed to work at the courthouse or?
Currently, no. No, sir.
If we install that system there, it's expandable.
That I don't know. I'd have to check. Not sure.
And that especially becomes important for maintenance and our law enforcement, fire.
Right.
Carry 5 fobs around with them.
Right. I don't know how that would work without, I guess, the sheriff maintains that kind of thing. I don't know. I can't answer that right now. I don't know.
We got to think about the water department too. That possibly needs an update also. I think Charles had looked at it, not as if it could be expanded over there. But you said it had to be a separate system. I'm just thinking the advantage, just say somebody over here could see the water department if they had would that be possible?
Yeah, oh yeah, it's possible. Yeah.
Is it affordable?
Well, it is if they don't have anything there now, but what you're talking about with the sheriff's department, it's not gonna work with his current configuration. He would have to remove everything.
Well, we don't know that, but, I would imagine so. But, I don't know 100% about that.
99% sure, because they're gonna be, they're not gonna have this access control from this company, but what company he bought.
Right.
Unless he bought this exact system when he put it in.
I would imagine so. Like I said, I'm not sure about it. I don't know. Now, as far as back your question about the water, yeah, there'd be some benefits to having the same system on there, but if we, had the servers here, you're pulling an awful lot of data across a VPN tunnel, and I think we'd probably be better off getting a separate system there that's web-based, and that way, yeah, you got 2 different systems you got to log into, but I don't think the latency would be as bad, because like I said, we have issues now pulling databases across. They're just heavy, data intensive,
With your internet speed, it wouldn't happen. No.
We've got the internet speed here. It's over there,
the connection from here to there.
Right now, if we could get a fiber connection between here and there, then yeah, we could do it all day long.
You're over the top of my head already. I'm on the computer dummies.
Yeah, that's the way you'd ultimately want to do it. But as it stands, the speeds they're not dedicated speeds. So when it says yeah, I've got 50 megs, no, you don't. You may get it 10 minutes out of the day, but they fluctuate. So.
Okay. To the chairman's sitting up here not knowing what Tommy does. To the chairman's point, if we do have at least the expandability and connectivity, that's relatively important and kind of.
Well, we got expansion.
Right.
Yeah.
Even if we pre-negotiated pricing on going to the other locations, at least we kind of know those numbers in advance and we're not getting surprised.
Right.
And if at some point we do have the opportunity to connect, that makes it more exciting. And I would ask that we find out what those numbers are.
Okay.
That's okay. Even just from a hardware component, not going in and doing the install.
Okay.
So what are you suggesting? Ask them to go back before we accept this bid, or what do we?
Just go back and talk to them, or?
You want to table or make a motion pending?
Yeah, I would do the motion pending. Is the consensus that we're okay with? All right. I think we're okay with that. The additional component cost is the only thing that I would ask. And I think that would be fair. They would give that anyway.
Right. And so just to be clear, so we want to find out exactly what, the cost would be for us to add cameras at the water department.
And then do we want drive and the component part of it.
Okay. Yeah. Do we want access there too, or just cameras?
How do they get into the water department? Is it push button now?
They've got a keypad.
Yeah, they got like a little local keypad thing. I think that they can program codes or something.
How many employees go in?
I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah. I don't know if it's worth it. I mean, does Bibb County go down to 10 employees with a system that deep?
If it's the water department, yeah.
I knew you were going to say that.
Given revenue coming in and.
Okay. Charles had a question there.
Charles, you want to say something?
Yeah, you talking about expanding to the water department. I know that John's building new construction, and he's interested in putting a surveillance system also. And what would be the difference between animal control and water? You want to incorporate both of them?
I thought he's putting trail cams out there for the deer.
Don't pull the cars, man.
All right, let me mention this now. We've only got $45,000 to play with, so we wanted to choose one where we didn't spend all the money for safety. So there were some other safety projects that could be addressed, but yeah, we could definitely ask about the expansion piece of it.
All right. So I need a motion.
Move, Mr. Chairman, that we go with ACOM Integrated Solutions. Correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. I don't have the exact dollar amount. You got two separate figures here.
Yes, we're going with the 28,000.
All right, 28,000.
141.
And ask for the additional cost for the hardware, should we choose to expand at a later date.
We've got a motion. We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Any more discussion? If none, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it.
Thank you.
You did a good job, Charles. I saw you on this. I see what you did to Matt, so I see how you're doing. We're at the department head part. Your department head like to speak? Matt, would you like to go? Or we'll get Jeffrey.
Like to remind everyone about Friday night. We have a back to school bash in the park. Have a concert. Gates are open at 6. Concert will start at 7. We have 4 acts or artists. Have a gentleman named J.J. Weeks and Unspoken. Those are 2 contemporary Christian bands. We also have a gentleman named Tyrus Morgan and Jericho. Those are Christian rap artists. They're going to be in the park. They'll start at 7 p.m. Hope to be done no later than 10 p.m. Again, it's a free concert to the community. It doesn't cost anybody a thing to come. We'll also have bouncy houses donated by Mr. Moonwalk for ages ranging from 3 up to around 12, 13, and some adults if you want to challenge it. Again, just bring your own chair or blanket. We'll have food trucks available if you want to purchase food on site. Food trucks will be available, but hope to pray for no rain and be a good community event. Just want to remind everybody of that.
So the park is open. I apologize for my tardiness for being late, so that the construction is done, it's safe, because I know there's a big issue.
We will start football practice Saturday morning at 10 a.m.
So the concession stand is complete?
This concession stand will be operating out of a concession trailer.
Okay.
Initially, we still got to tie in the sewer and finish up painting, but we'll be done in a couple of weeks. And unfortunately, we'll still operate out of Porta Johns and concession trailer for a few more weeks until we get these the wet well in Force Main. Me and Jeffrey actually talked about it tonight, but as soon as we get those things knocked out, we'll be ready. Concession building will be ready, and all the safety issues around the park have been handled.
What's the first day of game day of football?
I think they said they're going to start the Saturday after Labor Day, which was, I think it's the 11th, 9th or 11th.
Will we have the
9th, I think.
concession stand open by then?
Say close.
The reason I can't answer that question for sure because we got the material on order. I mean, we can't get it in until, Jeffrey can't promise me when it's going to be here, and neither can Tim Ingram, so it's on order. They gave us a timeline. The timeline meets what I gave you, but I can't promise you.
It's been getting a lot of rain too. If it keeps up, it'll slow it down.
And I'll be honest with you, when it comes to promising dates, I'm about tired of promising dates because
you can go ahead and start running your line now. The main thing you ain't know is going to be that lift pump.
Right. Me and Jeffrey are working on getting that line run. We're working on that, working together on that now.
Okay, that sounds great.
Now, I got a question. I sent an email to you and Jason just to get a follow-up. Have you guys reached out to Ace and or Willis Nursery to get a landscape design on the facility?
I sent you an email back today. I apologize if you didn't see it, but I have not. We have been spending every available minute trying to take care of the grounds and get all the safety stuff handled. Actually, John Lowe has some of his people out there the past 2 days working, still spreading mulch over some areas, finishing up some concrete work around some bleacher pads. I mean, we're just working with Mother Nature lets us in every possible minute, but I have not. I apologize.
Okay. I mean, if Charles has approved that it's a safe facility, I mean, I rode by the other day and I saw wires still going from the concession stand building, and I know there was an issue about wires and all types of stuff. We were talking about trying to open up for baseball. So, you going to comment now, Charles?
Yeah, well, I heard that made a comment, the same issue that had been involved. ACCG rep gave us an action plan to take care of prior to opening. I was just going to ask Matt, and he responded back to me in writing. She's going to be here Friday, and I can present that to her. And also, if you'd like for me to, I can make a drive-through.
Right. I would really like that. I mean, we had ACCG rep, and I don't want to postpone anything, but I mean, there was an issue about safety when it came to baseball and softball participating, and if the lady hasn't done a final walkthrough and we haven't addressed all of the action plans that she identified, there should be some concern amongst this board for opening up a park, and it hasn't been approved.
She'll be here Friday morning, and we can go over the action plan that she sent herself, and I forwarded it to Matt. We can also do a quick ride-through, just to make sure that anything else is not incurred.
All right, so I mean, once you guys do that and it's approved by this ACCG rep, then I'm fine with it. But like I said, there was a concern, and that's why we had her come in the past to do this survey and to walk around and give us some recommendations. Therefore, I think it's only fair that she give us the okay to do it, because the concern was legality, somebody getting hurt, and that type of stuff. And I mean, if this hadn't been addressed,
well, the only thing that's not that hasn't been addressed and won't be addressed is on the hillside between the new park and the old park. Mm-hmm. She's saying that we need to put some type of barrier there to stop a car from shooting over that hill.
Okay.
That hadn't been addressed, nor will it be addressed by Friday. Yeah. 2 reasons: 1, financing; 2 is timeline. And to be honest with you, whether we address that or not, that has nothing to do with the football plays, because if you don't open a new park, you let them play in the old park, they still going to drive over the hill.
Right.
That's not going to change that aspect.
So that's the only item that she identified that needed to be addressed?
To my knowledge, yes, sir.
Okay.
Barriers are somewhat inexpensive depending on how much distance you got to travel. When they make those concrete barriers for the side of the road, they actually have a byproduct that generates this big block. I buy them for about $75. We use them as targets. They're pretty neat, and you can order 10, 15, 20 of them. They're $75 a piece, and they will deliver them and set them in place. And they're about that wide and about 3 feet tall, 4 feet tall. It'll stop a car.
The area she's talking about is, if the car does go right, it's going into the outfield of baseball.
Right, I know exactly where it is. We used to run down that hill, by the way. But set the barriers up there. There might be 10 or 15 in a row, but you're talking $1,500.
We're talking, what you're talking about, we're talking about having to use at least 70 or 80 of them. It's about 900 linear feet.
Times $80. I'm just saying, if you want the park open, I wouldn't not stop a park for 80 times 100. Well, $8,000, no offense. We wasted that in diesel fuel somewhere.
Well, again, going back to
golf carts. Spend the $8,000. I'm just saying, get the park open.
Well, what I'm trying to explain is that hillside, if anything, let them play at the new park makes them safe, because there's nobody down the hill.
Okay.
They're on top of the hill. So if someone drives over, they're driving down to an empty park.
So no one's going to be on any of those practice fields at no time?
No. I mean, I ain't going to say at no time, because, I mean, no football team will be out there practicing, because they're not going to practice in the outfield. Now, if mom and dad wants to go play catch and fly balls and fly frisbees, they may be out there, but they're going to be out there regardless.
Does ACCG differentiate the risk between a team versus a citizen? I'm just asking.
I don't know.
If it's not, then it's a moot point.
I mean, again, I'm not against doing it by any means. What I'm just want you to understand, it's a finance and a time matter. But I don't have a problem doing it, it's just,
Well, ask that question. If that's not an issue, then it's not an issue. Then they can play, right?
Mr. Chairman, I suggest we hear from ACCG.
Sure. We'll just get their recommendations and go from there. How's that sound?
It's all me.
All right, sounds good to me too. Everybody good with that?
Yes.
I don't know what to tell the football board. Do I tell them to practice to the new park Saturday morning or practice at the old park? The barrier's not gonna be up by then. Or tell them not to practice at all.
I'm just curiosity. Can we take a backhoe out there and put a dirt barrier down there for the time being?
I don't know what their acceptable barrier is considered.
It might be a question we can ask. I mean, that would be a.
When was it that the ACCG did the inspection?
It's been a couple of months.
Well, it's been a lot of time to put a barrier of some kind.
Why don't y'all ask if we can do that as a dirt barrier of some time, and it's not gonna take much to keep a car from, you see what I'm saying? You might go down there with a dirt and put a dirt berm through there to keep them from rolling over that hill. Would serve the same.
And they can practice at the new part. That's not an issue, right?
Right.
Chuck has been.
All right, we can check into that, see what we can get by with. Charles, you got a suggestion?
I don't know if it
Chuck, excuse me.
really is up at, First James, there was a whole stack with 12-inch cast iron pipe. I don't know what Jeffrey may be gonna use it for, or if it's still there or not.
Some of that's been used for, the Haddock project. We do have some 6-inch ductile.
I know there was 12 up there stacked up.
Very little now.
Okay.
I'm just saying, if we could get by with possibly even the dirt berm through there. Chuck in about a day or so with Sherry behind him would probably have that thing smoothed up, ready to go. Probably landscape it when you get through, right?
Take my track up there and it'll be done.
And most times, dirt birds on that feed actual high the largest vehicle in that area.
Sure. We can just check into it, see what our options are on it, to see what we can get this done. I appreciate it. Thank y'all very much.
I'll respond back to that though as soon as Natalie and I do the inspection.
Sure. Mr. Pelkey, you got anything tonight?
Yes, I just want to say thank you for everyone that's been behind me and our team, and we're doing well. I'm setting in processes that we've never had before, and programs, and I've got the full support of the team, and I think we're moving ahead.
Thank you very much.
We supposed to reach out to ACCG tomorrow to see if they can come down earlier, or at least approach the situation of
sure.
She knows what it looks like and say, we don't have this, what are some of our options?
Right, that might be options. See if they can come earlier on Friday just to look at it and give us a.
Or at least approach the situation with her and say, are there any other options we can do that gives us a little more time than a half a day Friday to actually get the work
I
done.
recall our conversation, Commissioner, a couple weeks ago. I think she had meetings this week, like Monday and Friday for only a couple of days. But I can verbally speak to her on the telephone and ask her about the options.
Yeah, if she's talking a physical barrier or a visual barrier or just something to let people know that there's a danger there, or.
Well, she was mainly concerned about people pulling up, leaving the car in gear, and just going over the embankment down through the fence onto the baseball field.
Well, in all honesty, that slope has been there before we built these new ones, and there was at one point there was a cross tie and a chain link fence, which is not going to stop a car from rolling down the hill.
But it's been written up to it for years.
Yeah.
It's been there for as long as I can remember.
Mr. Chairman, I don't know anything about this, and it's probably, it's certainly not a legal matter to one extent, but it kind of is. Does ACCG have the final say? Is this for insurance purposes? They insure us? Why is she involved in it, the ACCG person?
There was a recommendation from the board before we opened the park to do an inspection for liability purposes only.
So this is just a person giving her opinion about what's safe and what's not?
A new set of eyes to look at it besides Charles, to make sure we've got two people looking at it, to make sure that we haven't overlooked anything as far as the safety of the community when it comes to
And they
use of
come
the park.
down once a year to do an inspection either.
Well, I understand, but if it's not something that's that would have an effect on our insurance or something like that. She's just a person just like anybody else giving her opinion about what's safe. Right? I mean, is that, so I mean, it sounds to me like some people, if you ask them something and, you know, everything's possible. There are a lot of things that are possible. You know, I mean, if we got charged, and again, probably not even my place to say this, but we got a lot of people wondering what's going to be happening here right away. It sounds like Matt doesn't really know what to tell some of the boards. If we got Charles Cook, Matt, if go down there with a backhoe and do some work, I mean, I just wondered, are we going to let everything just hinge on whatever this person from Atlanta says about it? Is that what we're doing?
I guess it's just because they mentioned there was a liability issue and it was brought to our attention. And
there's a liability issue when you get up every morning.
Right. So
something could happen. Something could happen every day.
I agree.
I mean, I just want to do this woman from Atlanta has got us just kind of at a standstill.
I got you. I'm sure we can come up with a solution to make this.
So let's don't let the woman from Atlanta determine, unless that's the reason I started this off by saying, you know, if we have to have it approved by somebody, that's one thing.
Right.
But if it's just her opinion, I think you 5 commissioners and Jason could ride down there and look at it, and the people we got here and decide what's the likelihood of some idiot driving off of that cliff and somebody being down at the bottom down there.
I'll tell you what, Frank, I wrote that up 3 years ago. Go ahead. When I first came here, that was a big concern for me.
And that's what I'm saying. And that's what I'm saying. If Charles, if you're satisfied, that's my whole point.
But he's not.
If you're satisfied, if they can go out there and put some dirt, put some things out there to satisfy you.
Burn satisfied.
Okay, that's my whole point. Right.
Let's do the burn.
When I get concerned about it's been brought up, if something does happen, it's like a dead pine tree. If it's been brought up, you don't do anything about it, then it falls on someone's field, who knows?
And if that would satisfy you, can that be done in a day or two?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, dig a ditch across there. Dig a ditch,
Done deal. We got
all right, well, we're ready to go.
Deal. We all got it under control.
Problem solved.
Yeah, talk about Paul.
We'll direct it to chain of command. We'll direct Jason to talk to John. All right, we got one more department head. We want to update on animal services building. I know you're chomping at the bit talking about your new building.
Oh, brother, it's going good there. I'm gonna build the block work, 2 more days maybe is what they're saying, weather permitting, that we're doing the block work. Sometimes very shortly after that, a couple of days, they'll put the roof on the building. That happens, I guess it'll go fast.
Good deal.
We're excited. It looks good.
Thank you, sir.
It's so far.
Citizen comments.
Full of dogs. Anybody wants a dog work?
Come on forward. We know who you are, but everybody else behind you wants to know who you are.
Oh, you know who I am and where to find me. Terry Denson, 2714 Old Gray Highway, Macon, Georgia, 31211. If Counselor Childs thinks he doesn't know anything about this and probably shouldn't get involved, wait till you hear me. Now this problem has been going on for several years and no one's threatened to cancel our insurance or it's gone up on the rates. Is that right?
Apparently so.
Apparently so. Correct. Hadn't done it the last 8 months. I've heard of.
Okay, so if we go ahead with this, then we're not running into that danger. Is that correct? Okay. That's all I want to know. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anybody else like to come up? If none, we'll start on the left tonight. Commissioner Kitchens, Commissioner comment.
This is going to surprise you.
You're going to surprise me. You're not going to have nothing to say?
No comments.
This is a first. Make sure we've got this recorded.
On your toes.
Keep you on my toe? You should know I was going to call you first. Commissioner Pitt?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chairman. I want to apologize to the board and everybody for my tardiness for being late today. And what I'll be doing is getting with the board, and maybe by the time we finish over Commissioner Martin, I want to share they're having it's pretty much a Georgia fitness event at the W. Knott Civic Center. Matt, do you know the date of that event? It's at the W. Knott Civic Center. I think it's like September the 8th, if I'm not mistaken. It's 8th or 18th or something like that. And what is it's just a wellness event, and it's encouraging the citizens to come out, get active, and just take care of your health. And I think the Chambers are part of it, Live Healthy Jones are part of it, just has our name on it, and just encouraging people to take care of their health and well-being. So I'll see if I can look it up by the time we finish up Commissioner Martin. I give everybody a date and time, and that's pretty much all that I have. Thank you.
Commissioner Robinson?
I'm fine.
How about this? Commissioner Martin?
Mr. House, just wanted to say thank you for coming up and expressing those concerns. The Macon Area Transportation Study, which our chair currently participates on, has an opening for the Citizens Advisory Committee. That board actually helps to provide feedback to the Macon Area Transportation Study, which has all the chairs, DOT, Macon Transit Authority, and so on. When construction is happening like that, that citizen has input, so those things happen on the front end as opposed to on the back end, and they actually become a part of the negotiations. So if you're interested, there's an opening. Think about it. Awesome. Mr. Chair, I'm going to turn that over to you as well, since he's actively going. They are looking for a citizen to participate right now. We have a project on 49, the 49 Bridge, and you'd be participating in that, but also looking out 20, 30, 40 years in the other projects and expansion in Jones County. There's talks of widening Joycliffe Road, 4 lanes, doing some work on Henderson Road and a few other places. So if you have any interest in participating on a committee such as that, let the chairman know. All right, awesome. Yes, 4 lanes. And then economic development, I know we're trying to keep our budget pretty tight. I'm going to encourage this board over the next week before we set it to allocate some additional funds for that. Whether we do in-town economic development, industrial park, or some other activity, we need to start making that investment there. I don't care if it's $100,000 a year that we put away so we can do different projects and incentives for people to come. If we don't do those things, we know that costs are going to rise regardless. If we do nothing, that happens. But I'd rather us be prepared and be proactive so we have some resources to make those investments when necessary. That's all we have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good.
So I did, Mr. Chairman, I did find it Friday, September 8th from 6 to 9. It's the Family Wellness and Fitness Community Event. It's going to be at the W. Knott Civic Center from 6 to 9. And like I said, just a free event. Just encourage people to go out and get fit and learn more about your health and wellness.
Sounds great.
GeorgiaFitFestival.com.
That's what now.
Georgia Fit Festival.
I know they have one in Macon. This is the first year doing it in Jones County. You're right. Mm-hmm.
Their website, I think, has it all on.
Okay.
GeorgiaFitFestival.com.
Okay.
All right. If there's nothing else with the board, we need a motion to adjourn to go into executive session.
So moved.
And a motion second?
Second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Thank you very much. Personnel. Executive session personnel, excuse me.
You know, I'm going to be
Got that?